Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to the wonderful worlds of hermits and crafting. And once again, we're flying through Scarlandia, and look at the amazing progress in the city now. Like, it's just every time I jump on here or start a new video, I look out and I'm like, we are actually getting close to having this thing, you know, be somewhat presentable, if you will. At this point, I'm embarrassed when people come into my base, but I'm starting to become proud of this base, and especially after today, we're going to have some amazing progress that I cannot wait to show you guys. But look at our brand new addition to Scarlandia, and that is dueling towers containing our Cactus Farm. And I am loving these two towers. They're looking absolutely fantastic. Let's look here. Let me actually take a land here on the street here. I want to show you guys the details here. So first thing we're going to look at is the tower in the center. Okay, so we got that. I'm loving the tower, but I need your guys' help in determining if we should build another one, because I've been thinking about building another one of our connector bridges right there. So what do you guys think? In the comments, I want to know if you think this is a good idea or a bad idea. So hashtag yes bridge, hashtag no bridge. Let me know, because I'm not sure. Like, I don't want to throw the perspective off. We worked so hard on determining like perspective and heights and all that. What in the world? There's a hole in my building. Why is there just a random hole in my building? All right, well, we're going to fix that later. But anyway, let me know, guys. Hashtag yes, hashtag no on the bridge. But I got to show you what's in the interior. So we've got the Cactus Farm, right? It's looking pretty sweet. It's doing its, you know, cactusing and farming and all that stuff. And originally I was going to set it up with like a little smelter and a little storage. It would have like a lever, and that was just about it. But CubFam was like, let me do this. And look what he's created for us. It's like Optimus Prime Redstone Edition, and it's amazing. Oh, I'm loving every minute of it. So look at this. It's got fuel goes here. So, you know, you put your fuels in there, and down below here, you got your greens. So look at this. It's just constantly producing. And over here, this is when excess gets produced. So as you guys can see, these are the splashdown pools, and it comes out here and then dispenses downwards. And of course, that's splashdown pool A. So that one goes down over here. And then once this chest has been completely filled up, it'll start storing it in shulker boxes over in this area. Like, that's as much as I know. Like, I don't know. This is a professional here. Originally, I was going to do like a furnace and a lever. But I'm loving it. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Cub Fam. And while he was over here, he's like, Scar, this concrete facility you got down here is an embarrassment. I'm going to set you up. So he did. He made this. It's also amazing. He even got some instructions because he knew I would need that, of course. And yeah, this is fantastic. Cub like revolutionized Scarlandia here with all sorts of new little techno gizmos and things like that. He's like Elon Musk. He just comes in here and just revolutionizes the place. It's crazy. Anyway, I want to show you guys some work that I've been doing, because like I said before, there is some tremendous amount of progress happening here in the city. And one of the big ones, once I turn around, you guys are going to be blown away. Look at this. I've brought the landscape all the way up to the road. So the road is not floating anymore, which is making me super, super happy. And it looks so much more presentable. Of course, this is just a green slate that we can then add more landscaping details to, because it's just, you know, preliminary design. Down here, as you can see, I'm bringing the walls back so we can have a bigger lake in the front of Scarlandia. So we can do like a really beautiful bridge over this like little lagoon right here. And look at this. Look at these little caves that I'm building. Oh, I'm loving every minute of it. Look at that. Haha. So you can fly through those. So it just keeps the river flowing in these little areas. And I think it's coming out really cool. We are, like I said, we are making progress. And that makes me super, super happy. So you might be wondering, Scar, what do you have planned for us today? And that is, we're going to landscape the entirety of Scarlandia. That is right. We're going to take this design that I've been kind of brainstorming a little bit yesterday, and we're going to make this design go all the way around. The skyscrapers will no longer be floating. That is right. Hashtag no more floating skyscrapers. I think a like rating is in order for that. Oh man, I've gotten so much flack for having these skyscrapers floating, but there's always a rhyme and there's always a reason for things. And the reason is so we could landscape properly around them. And in the end, I think it's going to work out really great. So this is the test landscape. There's quite a few little modifications I'm going to do once we bring it throughout the entire city. There's a couple extra blocks that I'm going to incorporate, but I want it to be this kind of rugged, natural green landscape. We were thinking a little bit like the new Apple campus landscape. So yeah, I think this is going to be really cool. So we got these kind of rugged area, and then that transitions down into more of a manicured area. So we have more like cut lawns, planter things and trees and stuff along those lines. So we're going to take that design and we're going to bring that all the way around the city. Now, the last piece of this project that we're going to do is the walls that surround our outer highway. So this is the outer highway, one way. That's why there's no yellow stripe. So we have these walls going across here. They don't look all that great, right? They kind of look a little boring. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this wall back a couple blocks, and we're going to do a lawn, and we're going to do some plants in there, and then have some vines kind of hang over. And I think that's going to be amazing. Gonna be amazing. And I cannot wait to finally see Scarlandia with a proper landscape. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So before we do that anyway, we've got to do something. You know what that is, guys? Got to get rid of Christmas. That's right. We kind of stuck on Christmas here in Scarlandia. So let's remove this. Let's remove the decorations at the community area, and then we'll get to greenifying this entire base. Operation Christmas cleanup here in Scarlandia. Check. Operation Christmas cleanup here in Hermit Hollow. Not check. This is going to take a while. I might start with the ornaments and then do like the pickaxes and things like that maybe later. I've also kind of considered leaving the pickaxes and things like that on the trees. They look kind of cool. We'll see. Anyway, time to clean this up. Hermit Hollow Christmas decorations. Somewhat unchecked. I think I'm going to leave some of the kind of Minecraft related things up just a little bit longer. I put so much work into these things that I just want to keep them up a little bit longer. And you know what? They kind of a little neutral, if you will. They're not like fully Christmas, so we can keep them up for a little bit longer. And I think that will be good. And also, we are going to be coming back to the community area to finish other areas like my shop and these areas under here very, very, very soon. And of course, the upper level, because we're going to get that done pretty quick. We are starting to get things rolling again. So back off to Scarlandia and we can start this landscaping project. Time to get to some business here in Scarlandia. Let's get some supplies and start working on the landscaping. I think the first thing we're going to do today is work on the perimeter, because once the perimeter has been set, it'll be a lot easier to fill in the landscaping. Like I showed before, we're going to do that wall, but we're going to kind of spruce it up with some lawns and some greens and some things along those lines. So welcome to Shulker Road. Oh, Shulker Road. Anyway, I spent an entire day gathering these resources. Like, this thing is pretty intense on the amount of resources we have over here. Like, there's some pretty crazy amount of supplies that we have set up. So that's going to be pretty sweet. So let's grab some of our cyan. There we go. So we'll grab some of that. Beautiful, wonderful, awesome. And then we'll shoot on over here and we'll grab some. Yeah, I think we'll grab some of you. Beautiful, very nice. And now we're going to grab some lawn materials. We'll kind of work on this a little bit together here. And where do I keep the lighter stuff? There's the lighter stuff. Looking very fancy. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Let's get busy together. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to kind of determine where we're going to take the lawn. So if we say, hold on. So the green lines go this way. And if we're going to do the lawn, oh, that's a good question. How do we do the lines for this? Oh, I never thought of that. So do we go like this and then we bring in a little bit of the darker, or do we go like this? Like a so. That's a very good question. I do not know that answer to that. I never thought of this. Let me think about this. So if the lines go this way, we would be bringing them across, and eventually we would start having them be, a little bit longer once they get down there. But it would continue to keep in line with our main road lines. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. There we go. Decided. I was fairly decisive there. I'm not a very decisive person sometimes. It's actually my Achilles heel in my personality is sometimes I can be very indecisive, but I feel like I was pretty decisive there. And I think I'm going to go with about a 3 block right there. And of course, we'll have to carve back this lawn just a little bit to make our wall, but I think it'll be very nice. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. And I think that gives us just enough buffer room on the sidewalk, the lawn, the wall, and then the upper area. So I think that's going to be definitely perfect. And how are you guys doing today? Hope I find you guys doing well today as we do a little Minecraft building here together and hopefully get some amazing progress. I've actually started to feel better, which is really great. It makes me really happy that we can start, starting all of our fun plans that we have planned for this year. Because I've got a lot of fun plans, especially when it comes to Twitch and different things along those lines. I'm very excited about. And being sick and hurt, like that's no fun. That's no fun at all. But you know what it does do is it makes you appreciate the times that you're not sick and you're not hurt, right? Like that's like my new thing is like every time I'm not sick and not like feeling terrible and not hurt, like I just gotta like appreciate that. Got to appreciate that because when you're hurt and you can't do anything and you're just like in a tremendous amount of pain, like all you think about is like the times you're not hurt. But when you're not hurt, not sick, you're not thinking about that. You're just going on about life, probably complaining about something. That's probably, or at least that's just me. But yeah, like that's my new thing. Like I got to do more of is I got to appreciate the times that I'm not feeling terrible. So I think that's kind of like my goal a little bit this year is when I'm not feeling terrible, I got to be more appreciative of that and really take advantage of that more often. There we go. Bring that across there. And of course, we got this little thingamabob right here. And I guess we can kind of just fill that in here like so. Oh, wait, that's kind of hokey. Let's just go like this. We'll fix this. Nobody saw anything. We'll cut that block out. Sorry, I know you were great, but I had to do it. There we go. Wait, that looks terrible too. There we go. Okay. I think that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, that's perfect. That looks so much better than taking this wall and pushing it up right across here. So I think that's perfect. I'm going to use this as scaffolding material real quickly. I'm going to shoot up here. And what I want to do is I want to have a little bit of a buffer with some green grass. So let's grab a little bit of that together. Green grass, where are you? Really need you. Oh, here you are. Thank you. And then we'll take that and we'll double scaffold up. That's right. Double scaffolding. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. So I talked to my, my computer, place that in my local, city has a really great computer place. And that's where I've got my computer that I use now, built. And I want a new computer this year. And, from what they say is to hold off. So I know you guys have been kind of eagerly awaiting for when I do make the plunge and, get a new computer. But they're saying we'll wait a little bit till March. And I want to know from you guys out there, any of you computer experts out there, is that a good idea? Because there's some components that are pretty expensive. Memory, SSDs, and of course, a lot of the graphic cards are fairly expensive with all them miners out there. My dad heard that and he's like, miners? Miners like in the dirt? Oh, it was so good. It was so great. But yeah, I'm actually curious to know from you guys, for all you computer experts, when is a good time, like depending on cost, new components coming out, when do you recommend a time to get a computer built? That's what I want to know. I want to know what you guys think. I've always wanted to build my own computer. I can fully do it. But the main thing with me is like time and energy. Energy and time. So energy would be me like lifting and dealing with all the components. Like I just can't do that. Like I can't like get down and get dirty and start moving things around. My muscles just don't work that way. That looks fantastic. Now all we need to do is just drape a couple of these down below. There we go. So I'm just gonna put a couple of these like that together. Look at this. This is amazing. Oh, I'm loving every minute of this. There we go. Perfect. I wouldn't mind if there was like one row of like green grass back here that we could grow some stuff up against the wall, but I think that's probably fine this way. But yeah, I'm just really curious to know what you guys have. So in the comments, #computer advice, or you can send it to me on Twitter or in the comments. When is a good time to get a new computer? My main thing that I want a new computer for is a little bit better bump in the and graphics, and of course computing power in terms of encoding for streams. But the main reason is better hard drive storage for videos. That's my number one thing. Like, I'd like a couple SSDs for that, but they are fairly expensive still. All right, that is looking fantastic. So I'm gonna take that design and I'm gonna bring it all the way around the entire city in super fast build mode. That's right. So my friends, let's hit super fast build mode and build this all the way around. End of super fast build mode, and we've got the perimeter of the city built up and ready to go. So if you were keen-eyed in that time lapse, you might have noticed that I changed the design of the wall. So originally we had the entire wall about 4 blocks high, and then we just had some grass, at the top of it. But I decided to change it and bring it down to about 3 blocks. And then have about 2 blocks or so of a planter bed for, your grasses and your ferns and your plants and flowers. And then an additional block of our cyan, making it 4 blocks, which then, if we fly all the way down, because this is the entire wall that we created, it's just absolutely crazy. Took hours and hours. There we go. And then it kind of meets back up with this little area, which we're going to start working on now. So we got the wall set up, which was quite a marathon, but it's time to kind of take this design that I've been working on this week, trying to, get ourselves a little bit of a sample for what we want to do throughout the build. And we need to take this and then add some modifications. So it's a little too green, so I want to kind of mix in some other things here and there that's going to break that up a little bit. So what we need to start doing is taking this and then expanding it outwards. So one of the things we're going to do is we're just going to fill in, of course, a ton of this green hardened clay. Like, we are going to get absolutely crazy with that. But we're also going to add a lot of our green grass like this. Now, we're going to have some green grass in here. There's a skeleton horse hanging down there, a little skeleton horse. So as you can see, we're going to kind of fill this in a little bit like so. And it's just going to be quite a process. Now, one of the little tricks about, terraforming and doing anything along those lines of this kind is to work on keeping it from being spotty. And what I mean by that is, say we put down, a leaf, and then we put down 3 blocks of carpet, that little bit of carpet there. And then we just keep kind of repeating that process over and over again. So the best way of doing these things is trying to do little veins. So little kind of veins of grass and dirt and plants growing through the area. That's far more natural, and it looks much, much better than, say, doing like 2 blocks of this and then like 2 blocks of that and then 2 blocks of that, because at this moment we're being very natural. We're not being very, manicured. This is a little bit wild. I want to keep this landscape a little bit more wild than we otherwise would in a modern design. Just trying to do something different, right? Trying to think in a little bit different ways in terms of modern design. It doesn't have to be perfectly manicured lawns and things along those lines. We can mix it up. It's our world. We can do what we want with it. There we go. And then I'm going to expand this out just a little bit. And see how I do this? Just kind of snaking it along. I hate snakes. I don't even know why I use that word. There we go. There we go. So if you're in the Discord, I have this emote that's just a cross with a snake through it, you know, just there's no snakes allowed here. That's just the rules. Main rule of the Discord. All right, there we go. So what I'm going to do now, this might be slightly controversial, so buckle up. Here we go. I'm gonna put a couple path blocks in here, right? Kind of getting these in here. It kind of helps break it up. Looks like kind of dried grass here and there. And this is something I'm going to test. This isn't, you know, final. Like I said, this is our world. We can change and do as we please with it. So this is just kind of a test to see what happens. And then I'm going to fill this in just a little bit more. Come on there. There you go. And then I'm going to cut that out and see what I'm going to do this. I'm just going to kind of add that around the edges like that. And then I'm going to throw in a couple plants here. You know, we can kind of bust out this and, you know, of course, head down later and collect what we break apart. But, you know, just add some plants here or there. And we can even grab ourselves just a smidge bit of wool. And we can run that maybe up here like so. And look at that. Look at that kind of neat terrain. You get a lot of definition, a lot of details in there. And I really, really like that because I think it really does add something different to the game. It just feels different. Maybe it's an alien planet. Who knows what it is? But I think that is looking pretty cool. I don't have any bone meal, but I'd like to grow up some, you know, some ferns and some grasses and things along those lines. So let me kind of work on this a little bit more, refine it a bit, and I'll be right back. Welcome back, and I'm continuing to work on this design and I still have not perfected it. I've done a couple of tests in a test world, and in a small sample it looks really good. But when you incorporate it into kind of a broader landscape like this, we start kind of getting into what I talked about a moment ago, which was kind of spotty things instead of like nice veins. In terms of, you know, taking the different colors and designs and not being spotty with it, but being, you know, more broad and creating little veins with them. So, you know, some of it looks good and some of it doesn't. You know, once we started maybe incorporating a little bit of the path block to create maybe some dried brush, things along those lines, that's when I think we got in a little bit of dodgy land, the dodgy land of being a little bit kind of, I don't know, not so good. So what I've been doing over here is starting with like a basic structure. And I think that's one of the best like tips ever in anything is just starting very, very vaguely with just, you know, a single block. It's one of the ways that I'm doing a lot of the skyscrapers now is when I'm trying to like brainstorm, I do them in one color, not a whole bunch of colors. Don't get into the details too quick, just some one color. And that really helps kind of settle your mind and you just focus on the structural design of it. So that's where I'm at right now. So kind of building up some general terrain hills. And I think from this now, if we get it all in this green, we can start then coming through again and maybe being a little bit more deliberate maybe with the design, I think would be good instead of being a little bit like, I'm going to break one here and I'm going to do one over there and maybe one right here. But instead we can be a little bit bigger in terms of like broader strokes in terms of like the design by dropping down these blocks like so. So that's where I'm at the moment, trying to it's complicated. It is because you're doing something that's not a very small thing. So we're not over here, you know, doing a little bit of a wall or something like that. We're doing something that encompasses hundreds and hundreds of blocks and is supposed to be something natural. It's not supposed to be something that is, you know, a man-made type of thing. And that's difficult. So it's all about trial and error. And, you know, 90% of the time it looks ugly. But eventually, with a little bit of determination, a little bit of hard work, eventually you'll see what you want. And that's at least what I hope I'm going to get eventually. So yeah, like that, just making those little veins like that. And maybe, you know, we did a lot of little things here and there, maybe be, you know, bigger stretches of grass and maybe smaller sections of, say, the carpet and things like that. And even smaller areas of the kind of path block might be good. So big sections of this and then kind of go a little smaller instead of kind of equal amounts of each one of these things. So yeah, we kind of have equal amounts of carpet, equal amounts of grass and things along those lines. That actually could be one of our failings in the design. That actually might be. That'll take a little bit of thinking. I'll think about that a little bit. I think that actually might be the case. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Anyway, so I'm going to do this just a little bit more and see what I come up with, and I'll be right back. Welcome back, and down below, that's the design we're working on. It still has a lot of trial and a lot of error. I think it actually looks fairly good from a distance. Up close, it just still feels maybe just a little too busy, but I do like kind of that jungly feel to it in a way. Like I love how green and lush it feels, and that's kind of the theme we have here a little bit. So looking at some of the designs that I've been working on, I kind of feel like we've gone a little heavy in terms of leaves for some of these areas over here. So I feel like this might be the best solution here. So we're pretty sparse on leaves. We have a decent amount of the path block, just enough that I think it looks really good next to the green. So I think it really pops next to that. Just a little bit of the carpet mixed in and one little flower just hanging out doing little flower things. So I think this is the general design that I think we should go with throughout the entire build here, because we're sparse on the leaves. I think everything is pretty well put together. We don't have any trees, so that's a big thing. I think the trees are going to be worked on primarily on Twitch. I think we'll kind of work through some designs and things like that on Twitch. So this is the design, and I think it's going to look pretty sweet once we really get it going. Once we get out into the fields out here, I think that's going to be really cool. And of course, we are going to be building where eventually there are going to be skyscrapers built here. So, you know, we'll just tear it out and... You know, we're always very economical around here. We spend hours doing something and we're just going to tear it out in a couple weeks. So that's the thing. Anyway, my friends, it's time to hit super fast build mode one more time and complete the rest of this landscape. So hit it. End of super fast build mode, and look at this beautiful landscape slowly coming together. Now, we are really kind of refining it at this point. I feel like over the time of this entire episode, we've really kind of changed the way it looks about 10 different times. And I think I've finally kind of nailed where we're going to kind of go with the design. And I love just the rustic nature of all the little materials. Now, it's incredibly time consuming to get all of these little blocks placed and put down and in some form of kind of natural ways. But I think it's well worth it. So it's going to take a long time to get this all surrounding the entire city. But I think it is starting to look really good. Like, look at all this immersive detail in here. And, you know, like I'd mentioned, some of this area, like right here, there might be a skyscraper and there's going to be walkways and different things like that. And of course, we're going to have to kind of knock out some of the work that we've done in this episode, you know, by putting down all these blocks. But that's okay. That's totally okay. And yeah, I think I'm getting really happy with this. A little more refined mint within the design, but I think that's pretty cool. And of course, we've gotten this gigantic wall surrounding the entire perimeter of the build. I think this is the most blocks ever placed in any one of my episodes. We placed a lot of blocks, but it's really pulling this entire base together, which is really amazing. Like, you can kind of see where we're finally going to take this. And whoa, we're going through the portal. But yeah, I'm really happy with today, and I hope you guys have enjoyed our landscaping, and maybe it's inspired you for your own landscaping builds. And let's take one last look from above. Yeah, that's looking absolutely amazing. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the videos are a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later. And don't forget to subscribe, because you may just become scarred for life.